Good morning, golfers. Welcome to the Ladies' Tee, your show for all golf talk. We are broadcasting live from the Bethpage Golf Shop. I'm your host, Megan Youngman, LPGA professional and director of instruction at Bethpage Black in Farmingdale, New York. Alongside me today are two very special guests. Hello to Lorianne Cerullo, president of the Women's Metropolitan Golf Association.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Margaret Eaton, president of the LPGA Amateurs of Long Island.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's great to have you two ladies on with us. I think our listeners are going to really enjoy having you. We are here to inspire you, keep you in the loop of what's happening, give you an opportunity to share with us, and hopefully we can help your overall game. Ladies, let's just jump right in. Phil Mickelson.
What a show.
PGA Championship. That unbelievable win. And it truly was unbelievable because Phil has been the last guy I would have ever put my money on. I mean, his age factor is very important, but more important is that everything he's been doing to elongate his career to keep up with these guys hasn't even been in the spotlight until he pulled off the win. Correct. I mean, if we think about it too, though, when he was coming into Sunday, it wasn't like he was 10 strokes behind. So we were, the audience was anticipating,
right.
We were rooting for him. So number one, it was a show for sure. I mean, he's not the most talented player out there anymore, but he can still win because he works so hard.
He does.
Right, exactly. What impressed me was his focus. And afterwards, when he did go do the interview, that's exactly what he said, was the hard work. He could do it. He knew he could do it. He just had to work harder than most other players. And for me, it was inspirational because I'm like, all right, there you go. There's something to strive for. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you saw him do shots where he had to get it close or he had to, get himself out of a scramble, and he just put it there. And then I could not believe the accuracy or the
Correct.
percentage of accuracy on his shots. And when he had to deliver, he delivered.
Right.
To your point, both of you, basically to me, Phil worked harder on himself than he did on his swing. Meaning he's worked on his body and his mind. And then basically he's reintroduced himself to his golf ball. First, let's get into his body. First of all, anti-inflammatory diet. He is working heavily with TPI on his flexibility, his mobility, and his strength. I pretty much think this all started when he played with Tom Brady last year in the match. They played, it was Phil and Tom versus Tiger and Peyton Manning. I mean, call it coincidental, but Tom Brady, who is also the king of elongating his career, inspires Phil. And this year, Tom wins a Super Bowl, and Phil wins the PGA Championship. I mean, they're onto something.
Yeah, that's a good coincidence noted, yes.
So second would be his mind.
Absolutely. And that's where the focus, where I know you could see it on his face when the close-ups came. You could see he just tuned everything out throughout the match from beginning to end. It was really pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yeah, he's literally creating confidence through mind control. He's worked really hard at getting the noise out of his head, and he talked about that the entire week. He talked about the fact that he's got a lot of conversations going in his head, and he really was able to tune it out. One way he tuned it out, he said he used his phone very little. He didn't go to his phone, little screen time all week. He just needed to keep all the clutter out of his brain. And I think we can all learn from that because we're constantly talking to ourselves. At our show, Faults and Fixes, that airs at 8:30, we always go back to the fact that you have to have replacement thoughts in your head. You have to have thoughts in your head where you're thinking of what you want to do, not what you don't want to do. So that's something pretty important when you're on the golf course. So again, he's keeping himself from seeing things that could distract him. That's something definitely that he was doing all week. Also, he slowed everything down.
Absolutely.
He got up earlier. He drove to the course slower than the speed limit, I think. He walked to the practice area slowly. He warmed up slowly. He ate slowly. I think you see where I'm going with this. But, you have to you have to keep your heart rate steady. There's a lot of variables in golf, and when you get to the golf course, if you want to perform that day, that is. A lot of us just want to go play golf. But then we still care about our performance. So if you want to perform at your best, taking some of these initiatives to just slow yourself down and get yourself into a good pace, kind of like the tempo that you want in your swing once you get there. You have to start acting, walk the talk the walk. So do you ladies, when you play, how is your routine in the morning?
Well, that's the key. You do need to get that tempo going. How many times have I gone out on the course and said, it just doesn't feel right. Nothing feels right. And that's all about tempo and getting your whole, the whole game routine going, and a lot of times I don't do that. You're rushing, you're going, you're talking to this person, you want to make sure you're there for your tee time, what time, I want to get a couple of swings in, and I'm rushing. Most of the time, I must say, I do things quickly anyway, personally. I'm that type of person, but I find that I do things too quickly, and then all of a sudden, you hit a brick wall sometimes.
Yeah, or if you're rushing and you're trying to do things, or you have thousands of things on your mind, like, okay, I have to pick up this when I'm done and all this, then you get to the tee box and you're like, okay, I'm not in the right frame of mind, and it shows in your game.
Absolutely.
And I think like what Phil did, where he slowed everything down, he made sure he was in the present and really was able to then focus on what he needed to do. And like you said before, my swing thoughts, sometimes I'm my worst person, because I'll be sitting there with the shot and I'll convince myself I can't do it. And that's, that's something I'm learning to stop to do. But it sounded like Phil knew what he was doing. I think he went off of years of his history and the experience level of how to focus, not pay attention to what doesn't have to be paid attention to, and focus on just what's being done. And it really showed. He was steady Eddie the entire time.
Right. No ups or downs.
Yep.
No ups or downs, right.
Taking that one step further, Lori, and as he committed, he talked over and over again about committing to his shots. Well, we all hear that loosely. We hear it from our coaches. We hear it on television from the best players. What does that exactly mean? Well, this means that he made sure that his mind was completely clear and focused on only what he wanted to do. So all the chatter was gone. It was 100%. His brain was full of what he wanted to do. So if we look back at the first 6 holes of Sunday's round, he was off. Something was off.
Yep.
The viewers knew it.
Yep.
Even people who didn't play golf, by the way, were watching this championship, and they could see it. Something was wrong. Well, his brother then, who was on his bag, which was also a very important and very special thing, reminded him, that he was not committing to his shots before he hit it. So basically, I'd hate to assume anything, but chatter was going on in his mind. It could have been doubt. It could have been not staying in the present because I'm about to win a championship, or I could blow it. We have a lot of things, and don't think these guys are, fear and worry doesn't discriminate, right?
Right.
So his brother reminds him to commit to his shots, and bam. And in the interview, he kept referring, to that noise in his head, but he turned it down and he was able to perform. Yeah. And then we have a champion.
Right.
This guy, right?
Absolutely.
It was fantastic.
And he actually, in the interview, did say that was a turning point.
Yep.
When his brother said to him, you've got to now commit. You're not doing that.
Yep.
He said that was an actual turning point, and was because of him that he was able to do that. So,
well, how many times are we standing over a ball and we look at it and you're like, well, it could be a 3 hybrid, it could be a this, I could do this. And if you're still doubting it, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to work out because I'm like, I'm a little bit off. I should, back off and retake my stand. And I'm like, oh, no, everyone's going to think I'm taking too long. And you hit the shot and it stinks. And you're like, darn, I should have done that. And you see these guys, they'll back off, they'll regroup, and then they'll get into their, commitment, and they'll visualize where it is I'm assuming part of it. And then they just execute. And I got to remember that,
It's a great point because I'm guilty as for the same thing. How many times I've said to myself, step away, and you just don't. And sure enough, you shank that ball or it goes
Yep.
directly into the water.
Takes a discipline. It really does. So when you don't feel good, you've got to step away. A lot of us don't step away because we've got a group behind us. We've got, pressure. It's something that you have to do. I tell all my students to do it. Let yourself you have permission now because we told you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to go to our commercial break. A little word from our sponsors. Coming up, we've got LPGA news and what's happening in Lorianne and Margaret's world.
Terrific.
Great.
Spine Care Technologies is an amazingly innovative medical device company. Their flagship product, the Extend Track Elite, is world-renowned among pain management centers, sports medicine experts, physical therapists, and chiropractors. Spine Care Technologies is dedicated to improving sports performance by relieving acute, chronic back pain and its disabling effects. The Extend Track Elite is FDA cleared, non-surgical, drug-free, and has been praised by health professionals around the world for its excellent clinical results in treating low back pain. Learn more at spinecaretechnologies.com.
The all-new Hyperflex from Footjoy is tuned for golf, with every detail designed and developed with the golfer in mind. Starting at the top, it looks awesome. The fresh material on the upper provides a great fit that forms to your foot and is fully waterproof. Next, the all-new Rapid Fit system ensures a dialed-in, precision fit, wrapping your foot in complete security. It offers incredible comfort with the new Stratofoam midsole, coupled with the OptiFlex outsole so that the shoe and the foot move in unison, whether walking or swinging. Available now in laced and the new Rapid Fit system. Shop now at footjoy.com.
Hey, have you guys seen the new Taylormade Driver? Introducing the Taylormade Sim 2. Built differently around a forged aluminum ring that shifts weight in new ways. They made it so long and forgiving, golfers can't wait for their next chance to tee off. Sim 2 gives every golfer the confidence to swing away every time they step up to the tee. Only from Taylormade.
Welcome back. We're going to talk a little bit now about what's happening locally, what's happening in the world of LPGA golf. Let me start there. Big tournament this week. We've got the Bank of Hope match play, LPGA match play. We've only got a couple match play tournaments a year. Danielle Kang is leading. Oh my gosh, she's taking over. She's really playing well. Yesterday on Friday, Lizette Salas and Danielle King teed off, and they were playing against each other. Now, not many people know this, but they are best friends.
Really?
Which
Interesting.
is such a fun thing to watch. I'm sure they're highly competitive, but of course they're having pizza and watching TV the night before. But they're also going to be Solheim Cup teammates.
Really?
Oh, great.
Yeah, that Solheim Cup's coming up in September. I'm excited. I've got my tickets.
Do you?
Gwen
Great.
Stefani is going to be kicking it off with a huge concert. That's going to be fun. That's in Toledo, Ohio. And we're looking also at another great week ahead, the U.S. Women's Open, June 3rd through 6th. And great timing. I mean, June 1st is Women's Golf Day.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. It's the best day of the year. I have a full lineup that day. I've got a speaking engagement via Zoom.
Very nice.
To a women's organization in Florida. And then we have an exciting clinic that happens every year on this day that has over 50 women coming in for a class. It's sponsored by Lexus and hosted by the MGA. It's a big day here at Bethpage.
Great.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. I'm sure we're all excited about it. What
absolutely.
do you have going on?
For the WMGA, the foundation has a virtual golf outing. So you play with your friends at any course and you submit your best ball of 4, and then the system will normalize it across various courses and we'll end up having a winner. So you have to play within like a 5-day time. And it's a donation to the WMGA Foundation, which sponsors junior girls golf, and scholarships. And so we have that going on from that perspective on Golf Day, on Women's Golf Day.
Well, as far as the LPGA amateurs, we weren't unable to actually secure something for women on that particular day. We have, of course, our leagues going on throughout Long Island. But we do have a big event happening in June where we actually have a great outing, which is a fun outing. It's going to also be, I think, a match play format. But the LPGA amateurs, we have 13 leagues throughout Long Island, Nassau County and Suffolk County all year. We have probably one of the largest chapters on the LPGA amateur organization nationwide. As I said, over 300 members that we do indeed have. And we have these fun outings throughout. We have things like sandblasters and colored ball tournaments. Our championship happens in August, where we have 4 rounds. And the best out of 2 is actually in the various leagues tells us who our champions are at the end of the year. And then we celebrate that all together. So we have a great year. We've got a great calendar all set up.
Great.
So, Margaret, if I'm a golfer, you know, I started golf with my coach, and I want to start playing, and I want to start meeting other women, and all of the reasons why I want to keep going. When can they join the LPGA amateurs?
Any day of the year. You can go to the LPGA Amateurs website, which is lpgaamateurs.com. You get all the information there. You can indeed join throughout the year, and you can join various chapters. We have people that join, of course, the Long Island chapter, but also Florida, if they're going down to Florida in the winter months. So you can do that. And then from there, you would check out the Long Island chapter, and all the information is there. And you can indeed join all 13 leagues that I had mentioned before, and you're not obligated to play every week. You can play whenever you would like to. Now, another great thing is that we do have a range of single handicap or index players, and also it goes well into the double digits. So we have beginner leagues, for example, in Dix Hills or in Harbor Links. And then we have, of course, and we try to actually mix the players so that they learn, so our newcomers learn, and we have mentors also that actually help them out.
I think that was my biggest question is, do you have to be of a certain level of player? You know, is there something for me as a newer player? You know, I'm just starting to get out on the golf course. And then what if I'm uber competitive and I've been working at this game for a very long time?
Right.
You know, what can I do there? So if I am a competitive player,
right,
where would I fit with you then?
Oh, we have great. We actually have match play leagues where we do have a maximum handicap or index then that's required. So for the real seasoned golfer, for the competitive person, those are perfect that we have match plays. We actually have a match play a league as well. We called it the relaxed match play. And that's to teach those players that are intimidated by the word match play. And there we really mix low and high handicappers to really help each other out in that. But we have many tournaments so far. We have many members that have single-digit indexes that are truly challenged, and we have the competition for them as well.
That's great. And Lorianne, with your organization, with the Metropolitan Golf Association, is that the same? Do you have to have a minimum handicap? Do you have to even have a handicap established to play with you?
For our for the adults, women, and we actually work with the LPGA because we do have a requirement that you're 25 handicap or lower, but a lot of our women who are WMGA members are also LPGA AM members. And we kind of look at the LPGA AM with their resources and breadth of resources that they have available, that they help get a person started. And when the person is at 25, to join us and to have a wider range of avenues to play at in regards to tournaments. So we kind of look at it as a feeder system from the beginners, from that perspective. And again, a lot of our women play in both. They want some of the competitive games, but we also, sometimes we find ourselves, at some of our tournaments, we have some open slots. And I know at our clinic at the Vineyards earlier this year, we had some LPGA AM people come from that. So we do work together, and there is a crossover and a dovetail with us, and it works out really well.
Yep.
Great.
Absolutely.
You know, Margaret, with the LPGA amateurs, some breaking news happened this week. We have a new commissioner for the LPGA, Ladies Golf Professional Association. Molly Marcoux Saman has been elected as the 9th commissioner of the LPGA. Mark Hoseman will replace Mike Wan,
Correct.
who was absolutely amazing. If there's going to be a male in that position, period, Mike Wan is the guy. He's stepping down after 11 years with us, and his role to be, and now he's going to be the chief executive for the United States Golf Association. But having this woman come on, it's going to affect all of us. I know you're president of a chapter here for LPGA amateurs. I'm an LPGA professional myself in the teaching and club professional division, and then we have our players. This character, is going to affect all of our jobs, everything for the LPGA, our exposure, our sponsors, keeping it growing, and she'll be with us for a very long time. So how do you think about that?
Well, again, really, really promising information. I also found out just before that she's played locally here on Long Island, so knows a bit about our area. So it sounds great. I'm hopeful and I'm excited. It was wonderful news. So let's see how it all works out. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Let's see.
We're going to take a commercial break now, a little word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
If you suffer from low back pain, joint stiffness, or sciatica due to herniated disc or acute facet joint problems, you need to know about a spine therapy device called ExtendTrack Elite. ExtendTrack Elite incorporates multi-axis spinal positioning, traction, and joint and soft tissue mobilization. Your doctor or therapist can use ExtendTrack Elite to move your body into pain-relieving, therapeutic positions that keep your body relaxed as your spine is mobilized. Learn more about ExtendTrack Elite at spinecaretechnologies.com.
Ever hit that one perfect iron shot and think, well, that's the one shot that will keep me coming back? Well, why does it have to be one shot? Why can't it be 5, 10, or even 50 shots that keep you coming back? That was TaylorMade's inspiration when they designed the all-new TaylorMade Sim 2 irons. Their unique catback design is engineered for more forgiveness, more distance, more often. Feel what it's like to play with better irons with the all-new Sim 2s from TaylorMade.
Footjoy sets the standard for golf shoe performance and style in 2021 with the all-new Premier Series, inspired by golf shoes of the past, but supercharged for today's game. Designed in collaboration with the world's best players like Justin Thomas, Adam Scott, and Max Homa, the Premier Series features classic styling with premium waterproof leathers and great details that exude craftsmanship. That is complemented by state-of-the-art comfort and performance features like the Versatrax Plus outsole. Learn more about the Premier Series at footjoy.com. Hey golfers! Most of you have heard about the championship golf course at Bethpage Black, but it surprises me how many people don't know that there are 4 other courses. Not everyone needs to be a scratch golfer to play at Bethpage. The other 4 courses are set up for beginners, women, juniors, and high handicappers alike. After golf, visit our 4,000 square foot pro shop where every item down to golf balls are logoed with the Bethpage Black logo. Visit BethpageGolfCourse.com for more info or to shop online.
Welcome back, Lorianne.
Yes.
We got talking so much about the LPGA amateurs and the new commissioner, and we're so excited. We have so much to talk about. But you wanted to mention one thing about your Metropolitan
Sure.
WMGA.
We have spots are available for a competition at Southampton Golf Club on June 8th, and it's the WMGA along with the MGA. It's the Met Am Golf Championship. So any woman who's a WMGA member or a member of the MGA, so you have a handicap with them, you can play in this tournament with a handicap of 12.0 or 0. So it's part of the elite golfers. So the spots are still available. If you go to WMGA.com, you'll see the link to set that up. And so it's a great course. It's a great challenge. And again, it's for those that want to do some competitive fun. It also has camaraderie, and it's a great course. So if anyone has that day free, come on and play that game. The entry fee is $75. So
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Sounds like a good time.
Yep.
Okay, I want to give some feedback to some of the questions I received this week. I'm coaching all week, and everybody can benefit from these. So I started taking a little inventory because I feel like I'm answering a lot of the same questions. So I want to end the show with a little segment called Let's Hit It.
Got it.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to start with, Margaret, we had talked earlier about handicap versus index. A lot of people, I teach this as well. Basically, if we're going to dummy it down, handicap is pretty much your average amount of strokes over par, okay? And index is the handicap that you travel with.
Right.
Each course by the USGA comes in, and each golf course is rated, okay?
Correct.
They're given a slope and a rating. It's a degree of difficulty, so to say. And that's from each tee box. So now you come in and you play the golf course and you have your handicap, and then you enter your scores into the computer. You don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to do anything.
No math.
No math. The computer does it for you. But you enter in your scores, and it goes against the degree of difficulty of the course. So everybody can play together.
Correct. That's the whole beauty of handicapping and golf. But I think where I received also many, many questions was the difference. And as you just explained it eloquently there, Megan, people didn't realize that their index changes based on the course.
Right.
So that clarification is extremely important, and we're constantly explaining it because it does get a little bit confusing. It really, truly does. And then you put on top of that the various handicapping on each hole of each course.
Right.
Okay, so that adds to that complexity. So, again, constantly just explaining it to new players, even seasoned players sometimes get confused on this. It's difficult. The good news is when you do post your scores these days in the MGA app, you can if you score it hole by hole, it adjusts it automatically for you,
which is fantastic. I think when it comes down to the scorecard, and seeing those hole by hole numbers, they're misunderstood. If I see the number 1 underneath hole number 6,
what does that mean?
It means that that's the hardest hole on the golf course, or it's supposed to be for me. I try not to look at those numbers. Get me psyched out.
Unless it gives you a couple of strokes.
Oh, there you go, if it does. But that's easy to do. And, I would suggest to get a scorecard, go to your coach, go to your pro that's near you, and have them sit down with you and talk to you about it, because you really need to sit down to digest it a little bit. And once you actually get a grip on it and get the concept, you'll never forget it. So, but it definitely is something to take a minute to understand. Okay, so scenario. I've got a post that I want to read, and we're going to talk about a bad round of golf and just how we can get out of it. I mean, one thing can it's like a snowball. So I have this a friend of mine said, well, last night was one of those nights where I just couldn't catch a break. I was in the sand 7 out of 9 holes. My drives were going flat and short or popping up. My irons were worthless. Oh, and putting, forget about it. Rotation, what's that? I completely disconnected from my clubs. Okay, so I'm reading this, and I really wanted to pour myself a glass of wine after I read it, because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she played, when I'm reading this from my perspective, she's played like this for 4 hours. 4 hours. That's a long time to feel that bad. So, I think we've all done it. It's a snowball effect. We have to be really careful, of how we talk to ourselves. We've learned a lot from Phil this week, but to get out of that, the best thing to do is before you even go back to the golf course, you got to look at your routine. You need to have a good pre-shot routine where you can, I always tell my students to be emotionally attached to the positive shots. To the negative shots, I'm going to be mechanically attached to it. So that I can make sure that I stay in that frame of mind where I can get myself back. I'm definitely not going to take my last shot into my next shot. They always say, don't make a bad shot worse, right? By following it up with a poor shot. That's something that is so important for all of us to take with us. Golf's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, heck, if I'm going to feel that bad about my round, and my shots are going to turn around, right?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta believe in that. Lorianne, we talked about this.
Oh no, and you have to, coming off of a hole where you just it never looked like you even had played a shot or you took a lesson. It's frustrating, but you got to put it behind you and just move forward.
You do, definitely. Well, ladies, thank you very much for joining me today. We want to also thank our sponsors. We've got thegolfinstitute.com, Titleist, Footjoy, Jay Lindenberg, and our title sponsor, Spine Care Technologies. We couldn't be on the air without you guys. Thank you so much. You've put us all on the air and frankly kept us on the air. Taylormade, thank you very much. Fairway and Green is our newest sponsor.
Yay.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
We're so excited. We really appreciate all of you. Coming up next is Little Sticks with Justin Kolf and Dan Frankel. I will be back with Kelly at 8:30 a.m. with Faults and Fixes. Make it a great day out there on the links.
Thank you.
Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Megan.